team.
Oh, he got double pistols. What is that?
Man, I'm double pistols.
What's up, Gumi Gang? Welcome back to the channel. I hope you guys are doing awesome. Now, I want to talk to you guys about what is probably the best shotgun in the game, question mark. Okay, so it's not really a shotgun, it's a pistol, right? It's the WSP Stinger. You probably noticed that before you clicked on the video and thought maybe I'm full of crap, or that I'm finally going to the clickbait YouTube way of things. And while I do think it is a bit misleading, I will give you that, since it's not technically a shotgun, the WSP Stinger Akimbo might as well be, for a few reasons we're going to go over. But if you don't know about this pistol and rocking it akimbo, it's one of the strongest CQB guns in the entire game, but with a few quirks and drawbacks that basically perfectly encapsulate shotgun style gameplay, but with an akimbo pistol that's full auto. So if you like shotguns or just fun and different guns in general that are actually pretty damn strong, stick around. And of course, if you want to hop to a specific part of the video like the class that I recommend, check out the timestamps below. So first, we're going to talk about why this thing is so deadly and so strong up close, and for that we're going to go to our old beloved friend, the site known as sim.gg, which is back for season 3. So if you guys didn't know that, immediately go check it out. It's such a great tool, along with TrueGameData. Both of those sites together hand in hand are amazing, but for this one we're going to check out sim.gg. So here we are on the lovely sim.gg. It's got a fresh coat of paint. Things are a little bit different, so I'll kind of show you how they work, but essentially we have the WSP Stinger right here, and we're basically going to the time to kill chart. Scroll down, as you'll see here, this line, 480 milliseconds. That is our time to kill up close, and this range extends all the way out to, what is that, about 11 meters or so. So you can get a 480 millisecond time to kill out to about that 10 to 11 meter mark, which is crazy. And of course, it's not super practical, as you'll see soon, because it is akimbo, but I do want to compare it to also one of the better shotguns in the game, the Haymaker. So to do that, we can go to add weapon here on the right. We're just going to do a quick little search for the Haymaker. We're going to add the weapon. Then we're going to go back to our time to kill chart. And if you go down in here and see the line, the time to kill here is identical to the Stinger. You'll see it's 480. This is a 3-shot for the Haymaker up close, but look at the way it drops off. At about that 2.3 meter mark, bam, the Haymaker drops down to 721 and then again to 962, while this thing is still shredding at 480 milliseconds. That's kind of crazy that it's that strong. And even out at this range, 560, what is that? That's insane. And if we put on a barrel for this thing, if we go to the WSP Stinger, put on the light barrel, it gets even crazier. Oh my lord, that's ridiculous. This is an insane up close and personal gun that you want to be checking out. It's just absolutely devastating. So I just showed you guys why it's so strong and how it's so crazy up close and beats pretty much the best shotgun in the game at this point. So why do you never see anybody using it? I think I've been killed by it maybe like once. Well, there's a big reason for that, and the big thing here is that it's akimbo, meaning you're basically locked where you can't aim down sights, which is a pretty big deal. You're essentially at the mercy of your hipfire spread entirely, which means your build is probably solely focused on getting the max hipfire spread, which is the spread when shooting and moving, as tight as possible. And with the build I'll show you soon, you can get it pretty tight, but it's not tight enough to be super practical past maybe that 5, 6, or 7 meter range. It can work. You'll notice that you'll still get a good time to kill at that range, but it's going to be a lot more unforgiving because you're going to miss a lot more shots. The spread is going to be too wide for a person since they're a little bit smaller of a target. You just don't have the accuracy of aiming down sights to really hit consistent shots at a target. It's not like if you could aim down sights with an HRM, which is probably why you see it used so often compared to the WSP Stinger. That's probably the biggest downside, but one other thing I forgot to mention is that this is a pistol and you have insane mobility. First of all, your sprint to fire speed, if you're using the build I recommend, which I'll show you guys here in a second, your sprint to fire speed is at 30 milliseconds. What in the hell is that? That's insane. 30 milliseconds. It's like I don't even know how to describe how fast that is. It's just incredibly fast and it's kind of crazy. So you have great sprint to fire speed, but also your mobility, as in your movement speed in general, is that of a pistol. So you're already super, super fast. Now, we talked about the good and one of the bad. Another kind of bad quirk about this thing is it only has 32 rounds, which means you're going to burn through ammo pretty damn quick. It's a nice way to keep it in check. You only get 32 rounds, which is I guess 64 in total, but basically you're going through ammo incredibly quick. So we've talked about the good and the bad. Let's show off the build now that I recommend. And there's not a lot of ways you can kit this thing out to be different. There's just kind of one path you want to go down and then maybe alter an attachment or two. So this is the build that I landed on. The big thing you can change here is the laser. I'm rocking the X10 sidearm L400. It is a visible laser when hip fire, but it does have a little bit more of a tighter spread than the other lasers. Even though it has the same max spread, it's got a better min spread, which does play into it a small bit, and it's not super noticeable. Honestly, you could get away with either. If you wanted to, you could swap this out for something like the Verdant hook mounted laser, which is going to basically be the same, not quite as tight again for those initial shots, but it does have the same max hip fire spread, which is very good, and it's also not a visible laser. So it's kind of up to you which one you want to use. I would say Verdant hook mounted laser or the X10 sidearm laser. One of those is your way to go. Now you could also swap the barrel if you want. This one basically just gives you better range, which you might not even be able to take advantage of at those further ranges where it makes a difference, but it's just compared to everything else, and there's not really anything else that's going to be as good as this barrel. If you want better range, you could also use 9mm high grain rounds, but that hurts your recoil and doesn't give you as much range, so why bother? The stocks don't really help much at all. There's no other real ammo that's super useful. So, I mean, you could rock maybe frangible or hollow point. It's up to you, but I would say the barrel is probably the better of the options to use, in my opinion. So for my overall thoughts on this build, I really do legitimately think that this might just be the best shotgun style gun in the game. It plays like identical to how a shotgun plays, where you're very movement focused. You're trying to get as close as possible, get a super great time to kill, and just shred through people, but you have to be so close. This plays the exact same way. That's why I think it's probably the best shotgun in the game thus far. I know, again, it's not technically a shotgun, but just hear me out. It plays so similar to it, you might as well be using a shotgun at this point, but it just outperforms everything else at close range with its potential. But of course, it's balanced by its magazine size and the fact that it's basically limited to akimbo only, so you don't have the accuracy of aiming down sights, so it's a fair way to balance it, and I actually like how they keep it in check like this. And it's funny because no one uses it. Absolutely no one uses it. JGOD did cover the video. I'll leave a link to his video about it in the description below if you're curious. But yeah, I've maybe seen one person using this in-game, and it's ridiculous how strong they are, and it catches people off guard. It's super funny, and again, I just think that this is probably one of the best shotguns in the game. I'm serious. If you like shotguns, you have to give this build a try. If you like fun and quirky and weird type of guns that are actually pretty useful, that shotguns also tend to kind of be in some ways, this is, again, a build that you have to check out. I promise you guys, it is so fun, and you will definitely enjoy using this thing. But it also kind of reminds us that shotguns are pretty underwhelming in a lot of ways, but maybe if they were locked hipfire, it'd be more of a fair comparison. But I just figured I'd point that out there. A lot of the shotguns aren't going to be nearly as good as this, but it is what it is. So with that being said, guys, I want to know down below in the comments, as always, what are your thoughts on this build? Do you think it's a great shotgun like I do? Do you think it's actually not as good as I think it is? Have you actually tried this thing out? And with all that being said, I will see you guys in the next video.
Enemy destroyed. Use your tac map to hunt down the rest of them.
Hey, coming, dude.